School leaders are asking for patience right now because tomorrow morning might look a little hectic. At this point, they're unsure if every driver will return to work. And right now, right behind me, you can see that the plane is still there. It's crashed into a shed and the wing is sticking out on its side. Dennis, Lisa, I'm scrolling through the incident list on my phone and there are 36 pages of calls state police responded to at the group home going back to 2008. The winds were so strong, people were running inside to take shelter. It knocked down trees, ripping roots out of the ground this big, tearing up the earth. This police investigation lasted most of the day here in Killingly, and we counted at least 20 police vehicles at this gas station behind me. Dennis, it is beautiful here. The park is popular for obvious reasons, but I'm going to tell you why it's better than the beach. You're not dealing with the beach crowds here. You're still close to the water, and you're in the shade all day. From May to early July, it's called nectar flow. That's when the bees leave the hive, go get nectar, come back to make the honey.
Respond to 188 Lafayette Street for the partial collapse.
An urgent call for help. 3 calls placed to 911 for a partial building collapse at a construction site in New Haven. Officials say as construction crews were pouring concrete, a portion of the second floor collapsed and fell onto the first, then into the basement.
Our units responded immediately within minutes and found several persons in varying degrees of injury, from broken bones to 3 that were partially buried under the rubble.
The New Haven fire chief says 8 construction workers fell 30 feet from the second floor. 7 are injured and 1 is in critical condition.
We're very fortunate that no one was killed here. When you're talking about the amount of work and the amount of weight that concrete is on top of a structure.
By evening, officials said all 36 people working on the site were accounted for. State police brought in search dogs to double check there was no one else inside.
We've done the hand search. We have accountability, but because we want to be sure, we're utilizing their search dogs that have a higher sense of detection for us to ensure that we've done everything that we can before we leave here.
One resident at the building across the street says he heard the collapse.
It's like a cracking and then a loud bang. And so when we heard it, it's like, you know, it's a normal sign. It's like when you're doing construction, there's a lot of things that go on, a lot of moving parts.
Right now, there is a stop work order as city and federal agencies investigate.
You know, at this point, we're going to let OSHA take over, and we're just going to issue a stop work order. And they're not going to start work until they come back into the building department when we speak about this matter.
We get treated like it's home. All the aides and the nurses there are our friends.
Hazel Saunders bounced around nursing homes in New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut for a year. Dealing with respiratory issues and chronic back pain, none of the nursing homes were the right fit.
I was tired of being in pain and not having that really recognized. I was tired of being mistreated. I'm a patient who can't do anything for herself.
Then came Waterbury Gardens. It's one of the 2 nursing homes in the state with respiratory facilities. Saunders has been here for a short 4 months, but she says this place saved her life.
They treated me with respect and care, and my daughter had told them some of the problems I had had. And honestly, from that day to this one, I have loved Waterbury Gardens.
Now Saunders is facing the idea her new home might close. The state took over the nursing home in 2019. Court documents filed by the state that year say Waterbury Gardens sustained serious financial losses or failures which jeopardized the health, safety, and welfare of the patients under their care. The most recent report says there is a staffing shortage, mold throughout the building. It also says Waterbury Gardens lost $16 million in revenue from October 2019 to September 2022. Workers, however, want the nursing home to stay open. The New England Healthcare Employees Union filed a motion opposing the closure. In a written comment to News 8, a CNA at Waterbury Gardens for over 30 years said the facility can be repaired. She goes on to say, "I'm certain if it's fixed up and restructured that we could succeed so we can have a lasting impact on the residents, their families, and the community as a whole for years to come." For Saunders, Waterbury Gardens is much more than just a physical home. It's where she found friends and happiness, and she'll fight to stay.
It's my family. We are all family there. We can't be home.
Good, Futh. It truly is a team effort when anything that we do. Sit.
West Hartford police officer Andrew Teeter and his canine Isla have been partners for 4 years.
Good.
When Teeter puts on the badge, Isla is ready to serve.
Good. I can wake her up in the middle of the night from a dead sleep, and if I'm wearing this uniform or she hears the cruiser start, she knows it's time to work, and that's what she lives for.
Teeter didn't expect to use Isla during a mental health call. Last week, a person was having a mental health crisis and didn't want to go to the hospital. Officers were called to help, but the person still refused to go.
During the interaction, the person noticed my name tape and my canine patch and asked about the dog.
Teeter then brought out Isla and was able to get the person to willingly go to the hospital.
You lose a lot of control when someone forces you to go to a hospital to be evaluated. So what I try to do is give them a little bit of control in the situation.
Canines aren't typically used to de-escalate, but Teeter says it was worth trying to build enough rapport so things would end peacefully.
Hopefully that most recent experience sits with him and is a positive thing.
As for Isla, she was just happy to do her job.